Hello and welcome back to Short Transit. Today we're checking out Malaysia's newest semi-high-speed train in business class, on board the brand new Class 94 electric train. These new trains will mainly be used to add new services between Johor Bahru and Kuala Lumpur when it's fully electrified in December this year, slashing travel times to a game-changing 3.5 hours at the top speed of 140 km per hour. It also features a brand new standard and business class cabin with some significant upgrades. So I'm really excited to see what it's like to ride it and sharing the experience with you guys. Let's just say it was pretty enjoyable to say the least, except that there's a screaming kid on board for the whole journey. Hello from the Kluang railway station in Johor, or what is to be Kluang railway station, as the new building is right next door. After double tracking and elevating the tracks from Johor to Gemas, most of the old tracks and station buildings that are on the ground level were ripped out as they are no longer used for trains. So Kluang has turned this place into a nice park for the residents here, with some preserved real cars on display. The train station building also retained its aesthetics since the closure, with the famous Kluang Railway coffee shop still around. I heard the toast and coffee here are prepared quite traditionally, so I highly recommend giving it a try if you are visiting here. While on the train here, I did see a Class 93 electric train at Bahru near Johor Bahru, so at least there's a sign that the long delayed electrification to KL Sentral is progressing well. The new station here at Kluang is just a 5-minute walk away from the old station, with the modern and imposing structure contrasting greatly with the rest of the town. There's loads of parking for those that are driving, but unfortunately, there's no buses at the train station, so you can only rely on ride-hailing to get here. The train station is nicely decorated to set the mood for the maiden revenue trip back to KL, with posters welcoming the electric train service to Kluang. There's even a merch booth here selling KTM merchandise, so I got myself a Blue Tiger locomotive wallet for 18 ringgit. With the departure time fast approaching, I entered the station with the PDF ticket on my phone and headed out onto the platform. And here it is, the brand new Class 94 electric train. It's the third generation of intercity electric trains operated by KTM for long distance trips on electrified tracks. It's built by CRRC Zhuzhou, the same manufacturer that had built the previous generation Class 93 trains. These trains have distributed motors under the train cars, allowing for much better acceleration when compared with the locomotive hauled trains used currently. Along with a higher top speed of a whopping 140 km per hour, it can significantly improve travel times on the meter gauge KTM West Coast line. Just look at the difference in travel times between here and Gemas. Sheesh! The train design is quite patriotic too, with the red, white, blue and yellow colours inspired by the Jalur Gemilang, the national flag of Malaysia. The front meanwhile is apparently inspired by an opera house in Johor Bahru that's right beside the Singapore-Johor Causeway. I walked all the way down the platform again to the business class car where I'll be seated today. Stepping in, we can see that business class is in the 2-1 configuration with a total of 36 seats. My seat here at 1C is in a luscious dark blue colour with turquoise motifs covering the seat in a distinct pattern. The hibiscus flower designs on the walls also closely mimic the seat colours, and along with the carpeted floor, it gives the cabin a very cosy feel. Space-wise, the seat feels as spacious as the VIP seats on long-distance buses in Malaysia. We'll look more at the seat later. For now, let's depart for Kuala Lumpur, shall we?
Pintu akan ditutup. Sila awasi jarak anda.
Doors are closing. Please stand clear.
Destinasi akhir train ini adalah stesen KL Sentral. Stesen berikutnya, Bahru.
For our journey today, we are travelling on the newly electrified tracks from Kluang to Segamat, then onwards to KL Sentral, stopping at 11 stops along the way, with a total journey time of 3 hours and 27 minutes. the train reached the impressive top speed of 140 km per hour almost immediately, blasting past the palm oil plantations that are very prominent in this part of Malaysia. Now let's take a look at my seat here in business class. These seats have a very high backrest, such that resting your head won't be an issue. Storage wise, you have a seat pocket in front of you, but it's not big enough to fit a laptop in. Below that, there's a decently large leg rest if you're on the shorter side. And on the left of it is where the power sockets are, with British style 3-pin plugs and USB-A ports for every seat. The seats do feel too upright when in its original position, so you will need to recline the seat by sliding the seat slightly forward. Under the left armrest is where the tray table is located, which you can deploy by pulling it and folding it outwards. Inside the right armrest though is a staple of the ETS business class seat, your very own entertainment screen. There's no movies and TV shows on it though, but when you're on the ground, good old YouTube is good enough to pass time, although I do suggest KTM to upload some Malaysian shows for a more local touch. After passing Bangkok station, a suspiciously familiar looking food cart rode down the aisle with 2 attendants. I wonder, what could they possibly serve on a 3-hour trip to KL? Colour me surprised, a whole meal was served along with a snack box and water bottle. With my very rudimentary Malay skills, ayam probably means chicken and nasi is rice, so chicken rice it is. Opening the box, there's indeed chicken and rice in the dish. This is apparently a type of chicken stew called ayam kawa, or Kaldoran chicken, with Kaldoran being a large metal pot where the stew is prepared in. The rice meanwhile is called nasi pelangi, a colourful form of basmati rice that is prepared with milk, pandan and ghee. There's an accompaniment of achar rampai too, a type of pickled vegetable that has been sliced thinly. Along with the main dish, there's also a snack box too. Opening it reveals a packet of salted peanuts, a mango fruit drink, and a mysterious white box. Oh, it's a free pair of earphones for the entertainment screen. Sweet. It's time to dig in, shall we? Wow, it's indeed quite delicious. The chicken is savoury and aromatic, and despite it bathing in a stew that looks very red, it's surprisingly not that spicy. The rice was very fragrant as well, with hints of pandan in every bite. Needless to say, I cleaned up the whole dish with ease. Very soon, my train pulled into Labi station, and on the other platform was the train that I rode to get to Kluang. It just amazes me how fast these electric trains are. Journeys that used to take hours can be done in half the time. But to get to this point, pretty drastic construction was done to ensure that trains can hit such high speeds while retaining the meter gauge used by KTM. On my train ride to Kluang, you can really appreciate the scale of the reconstruction, with the tracks being straightened as much as possible and viaducts built. It's hard to even see the original track alignments anymore.
Stesen berikutnya, Segamat. Sekiranya anda menghampiri stesen destinasi anda, sila pastikan tiada barangan yang tertinggal.
The train soon cruised into Segamat, a town where the ATS has served since March 2025. Trains have shaved the almost 4 hours drive to KL down to just 2 hours and 40 minutes, as the only roads connecting here are narrow and winding. But compared to the bus, riding the train is twice as expensive and is less flexible with departure timings, so there are people that still choose to ride the bus instead. The pricing of this service is something I really want to talk about, so do stick around for that.
Destinasi akhir train ini adalah stesen KL Sentral. Stesen berikutnya, Gemas.
After crossing the state border into Negeri Sembilan, we pulled into Gemas, a junction station where passengers can change trains heading up the famous jungle railway to Kelantan. You can tell that these trains at the sidings have seen better days at the state that they are in. Fun fact, the orange and blue train car in the distance are ex-JR Kyushu sleeper cars that were donated by Japan in the 2010s, and they were shipped to Malaysia to run on overnight trains between Kelantan and Johor. Unfortunately, it has been abandoned for a couple of years now, so it's very unlikely to return to service at its current condition. Very soon, the food cart appeared once again. This time, coffee and tea were served along with a chocolate muffin. Sipping tea and taking in the scenery as the Malaysian countryside flows by at 140 km per hour. It's just perfect. There's something deeply peaceful about it. Just me, the tea, the window, and the ever-moving world. That was until the peace was shattered once again by the screaming kid a couple of rows in front of me. To rant a bit, this kid has been screaming and crying non-stop for practically the whole journey, with the parents making zero effort to keep him quiet. I'm usually quite tolerant of kids making noises because that's how we were like at that age. But to have it going for 3 whole hours straight is intolerable to say the least. To make things worse, the parents also allowed the kid to treat the whole train car as if it was his playground, as he crawled and jumped back and forth around the carpet floor, even when the train crew was serving hot drinks to passengers, which is no doubt very dangerous. Enough ranting, it's time I get out to show you around the train. This is the business class car that I'm seated in. Comfortable seats, rotatable chairs, and a soft carpet flooring. It's hard to desire more from this car. In the vestibules is where you can find luggage racks for your large carry-ons. Entering the standard class car, we can see that it's in the 2-2 configuration, with a total of 60 seats. For the first time ever, standard class passengers are able to rotate their seats towards the direction of travel too, just like the business class seats, which is amazing. Moving on, in car C is where the buffet car is located at. Sharing the same car as 54 standard class seats, it's noticeably more cramped now as there's no longer space to enjoy your food right here at the buffet car. LED screens at the top display what's available to purchase on board, but notably absent in the menu are brewed drinks like Ice Milo or Teh Tarik, available on some locomotive halt trains from Johor. Here's what it's like sitting on a standard class seat. It's definitely more cramped when compared with the seats on the locomotive halt trains, but it's still adequately comfortable for the short journeys between cities. In case you're wondering what the toilet situation is like, it's basic but clean, and I quite like the water pressure from the faucet. Not long later, commuter trains and white highways soon appeared outside the window, which means that we are well on our way to Kuala Lumpur. So it's a good time to give you a summary of the business class product on the new ETS3 train. First of all, the train's hub product is fantastic. With these big seats in business class, you can go on a long journey with relatively decent comfort, as you'll be able to stretch your legs without much restrictions or legroom. The in-seat screen also allows you to surf the internet at a decent speed in case you're bored looking out the window. One small issue I have with the seat though is that getting out after the tray table is deployed is quite inconvenient. You have to fold it up before you have space to exit, which is hard if you have a meal in front of you. Regarding the sub-product, the amount of food served is definitely adequate. And the chicken stew rice that I got served tasted quite good too. If you need anything beyond what's served, the paid items are not too expensive to purchase, and you can get them directly delivered to your seat in business class, which is awesome. After enduring the whole journey with a screaming kid, I would really appreciate if there's a quiet car for passengers that just want to enjoy their train ride or to sleep, especially after forking out quite a sum for a business class ticket. For this trip, I paid a total of 162 ringgit for a one-way business class fare from Kluang to KL Sentral, which is not too bad for a 3.5 hour journey. But interestingly, the fares for standard class is much higher than I had expected, with the lowest fare starting at 85 ringgit or 26 dollars, which is almost 3 times more expensive than a bus ticket for the same journey. Will passengers really be willing to spend 3 times more for a train journey that takes almost the same amount of time as the bus? I guess for the time being, it's better to just take the bus up north instead. Welcome to KL Sentral. To sum up, I really enjoyed riding the new ETS3 train up to Kuala Lumpur. It's very well designed and comfortable, and I can't wait for it to eventually operate services to Johor Bahru in the near future. If you would like to catch a ride on this new electric train, it currently runs once daily from KL Sentral to Kluang and back on the ETS Platinum 6511 and 6514 service. For the latest timetables, you can visit KTM's website and search for it under ETS timetables. Have you taken a ride on it yet? Do let me know what your experience is like in the comments down below. Remember to like and subscribe, click on one of these videos next, and I'll see you on your next short transit.
Very good. Bukan eh? Oh, dah kat atas.